In this Fulfilling Orders lesson, we'll discuss the role of Jeopardy in Order Management Cloud. After you complete this lesson, you'll be able to define what Jeopardy means in order management. You'll also be able to manage Jeopardy priorities and thresholds. In addition, you'll be able to show where Jeopardy information appears in the order orchestration work area. Finally, you'll be able to define a Jeopardy score. With each lesson, we've introduced this graphic which represents the wide range of functionality provided by the order-to-cash flow. Each topic touches on those functions, including upstream and downstream integrated applications. In this lesson, we focus on Jeopardy management within the order orchestration process. Continuing with the fulfillment orchestration to invoice OMP's configuration steps, this lesson provides a better insight into the handle exception subprocess. Specifically, you will learn key features and related setups for configuring order management Jeopardy. Using Jeopardy in Oracle Order Management Cloud provides proactive, automated monitoring of the order fulfillment lifecycle, allowing businesses to identify, analyze, and mitigate potential delays before they impact customers. It helps ensure that orchestration processes meet promised delivery dates by raising alerts when tasks exceed expected durations. Our first topic provides an overview of Jeopardy, so let's get started. Jeopardy values can be updated automatically, or you can schedule them to run at specific intervals. Jeopardy management is one of the part of enabling order orchestration. Orchestration also includes order promising, orchestration process definition, and branching conditions. It also includes pause tasks, wait steps, and status management. In addition, orchestration covers fulfillment line splits, deploying the orchestration process, change management, and hold management. So what is Jeopardy? Jeopardy indicates how severe a task delay is within an orchestration process. Jeopardy indicators appear in the order management's work area so that an order entry specialist can quickly spot fulfillment lines with potential issues, like the two order lines shown in the screenshot. Jeopardy is based on forward and backward planning across the orchestration process. That planning calculates accurate promising dates for each task, and when a task slips, the Jeopardy settings determine how serious the delay is. Jeopardy is calculated when planning runs. You can evaluate Jeopardy using planned dates as well as actual dates, which helps you identify risk early and take corrective actions before the issue impacts the customer. Process planning and Jeopardy calculation are disabled by default. If you want to use this capability, you enable it in the Manage Order Management Parameters page within the Setup and Maintenance work area. After it's enabled, Order Management assigns the Jeopardy score and priority each time the orchestration process is planned or replanned. To view Jeopardy indicators, go to the navigator and select Order Management. Then, click Order Management. On the Overview page, open the Task menu and select Manage Orders. On the Manage Orders page, search for the order you want to run the search for. In the results, click the order number link to open the order. Next, we'll discuss how priorities are used in Jeopardy definitions. Jeopardy priority represents the level of risk associated with the delayed task. In the Order Management work area, Jeopardy priority is shown as low, medium, or high. You set up Jeopardy priorities by defining the Jeopardy scores range for each priority. The low, medium, and high categories are predefined, and you can adjust the score ranges to match your business requirements as shown in the slide. You can't add new priorities, delete existing ones, or rename the seeded priorities. Also, the ranges must be continuous so that the minimum value of a range must equal the maximum value of the previous range. For a fulfillment line, the Jeopardy status is driven by the task with the greatest risk. In other words, the fulfillment line's Jeopardy status is based on the highest Jeopardy score of any task in the orchestration process for that fulfillment line. Our final topic covers the management of Jeopardy thresholds. You use Jeopardy thresholds to monitor and measure orchestration processes. A Jeopardy threshold defines time ranges for how long a task is delayed, and each range is assigned to a score that reflects how severe the delay is. When you create a Jeopardy threshold, you can scope it by applicability parameters such as process name, task name, process version, and task type. If you leave these parameters set to all, then the threshold applies to all tasks. Keep in mind that you can only have one set of Jeopardy thresholds that applies to all tasks. On the Edit Jeopardy Thresholds page, you can define as many threshold ranges as you need, and the ranges must be contiguous. Here's how this ties into planning. When an orchestration process is assigned to an order line, the process is planned using task lead times and key sales order dates, such as the required completion date. Each task receives a planned start date and planned completion date. The process is replanned when a task completes or when a scheduled process runs. Jeopardy is calculated when planning runs, so a task can be at risk but not show as in jeopardy yet if planning hasn't been triggered. When order management evaluates jeopardy thresholds, it looks for the most specific threshold that matches the task. In other words, it tries to find the threshold that applies to the greatest number of task entities. It searches in this order. First, it checks for a threshold that matches the process name, process version, task name, and task type. If that combination isn't found, then it checks process name, process version, and task name. Next, it checks process name and task name. Then, it checks process name, process version, and task type, followed by the process name and task type. After that, it checks task name only, then process name and process version, then process name only, and finally task type only. If none of these combinations match, order management uses the default threshold. Once a matching threshold is found, the task jeopardy score is determined by the ranges and score values defined in that threshold. To wrap up, in this lesson, you've learned how to define jeopardy in order management. You also learned how to manage jeopardy priorities and show where jeopardy information appears in the ordered orchestration work area. Finally, you learned how to manage jeopardy thresholds and define a jeopardy score. That concludes our lesson.
In this practice, our persona is going to be the order administrator for Vision Corporation. We have a clothing line to sell to important customers, and we want to maintain good customer support level. So we want to set up a jeopardy threshold if anything is going to be delayed more than 2 days to let us know. Make sure you have done all of the prerequisites. So we're going to navigate into the Manage Jeopardy Thresholds, and we're going to create a new definition. To do that, we need to log in, go to Setup and Maintenance, and go to Manage Jeopardy Thresholds. So let's go do that. Copy that instead of right over the top of it. So let's go into the app. I am logged in. This is my preferred way to get to Setup and Maintenance. You can go through the navigator if you'd like. Make sure that this is set to Order Management. And you can click on Orders, flip this to All to go look for the thresholds, or you can simply query it up here. We're going to open that up. And let's go back to our instructions real quickly. So we want to create a new threshold definition. So it's going to be clothing in jeopardy. Add your initials or your student number, whichever you've been using thus far. And we're going to add the code and then description. And we're going to pull up the process name, which we created earlier. And then we'll tie this to a shipment type, shipment or ship task. And then we'll define our ranges. So let's go do that first part. So you can go to actions, create, or hit the little plus, whatever your preference is. Code. I'm going to use my login info, clothing in jeopardy. So if you notice upper right hand corner, jeopardy priorities, it gives us a low, medium, and high. We have the ranges here, so we'll make sure we utilize those. Again, actions add a row, or you can hit the plus. So our minimum delay is 2, and we'll pick days, and we'll give that a score of, let's go back to our doc to see what it's supposed to be. I have no short-term memory. So this one's going to be 30, 260, 460. Okay. So first one's 30, 30, and low. Add another line at 5 days. That one's going to be in the mid-range, so we'll say 240, medium, and then the last one is going to be 8. Days. That one's 460. That one's going to be high. And that's all we have to do. So we've created 2, 5, and 8 days, low, medium, and high thresholds, which fall within the ranges of our Jeopardy priority scale on the right-hand side. And we need to add our process name. Which we can search for. It's the custom DOOU standard. And hit save and close. And that completes the practice. In this practice, we're going to set up some assignment rules to change or update an order during runtime. Hopefully we'll see the Jeopardy threshold and we'll make an update to assign rules for the packing info. So if the packing info field is a blank, assign the process name, and it will pick up the packing instructions that we're going to go create. So let's go in and set up a packing rule to assign the rule for the packing instructions. We'll get it to assign launch orders on the fulfillment line. After it selects the header, to check and make sure that the packing info is there. So let me scroll back up and we'll start by going into the manage process assignment rules for sales order. So let's jump into the app. So I'm already logged in and let's go to setup and maintenance for order management. And we'll put in the manage process rule assignments for the sales orders. Click on that. And we'll create a new rule. So let's click on create new rule. And the new rule, pop the name in there. Scroll back, just make sure it looks right. Okay. Click OK. I'm going to put the description in as well. I'll probably going to put the initials in there just to be safe and consistent. There we go. So our if condition is going to be if the packing instructions aren't blank. We'll click into our new conditions box and we want to pick up packing instructions. And this one's at the header. and change the condition to is not blank. Click OK. And on the then, we want you to do something. And in this case, we want to assign the process name and the packing instructions to the order fulfillment line. So let's put that in the description. There we go. And then the new action will be the process name is going to be the assign launch rules for the line. And that'll be is set to. And the process name is for the packing instructions. Process name for the line is set to. Click on the little, get the attribute box, and this is going to be packing instructions for the header. Click OK. All right, let's hit save and close, and then we'll go back to the main page. There's one I just created. Doesn't look like it's cranky, so if it shows up with the red X, you go back in and edit, figure out what's wrong. So we can set this to low priority, activate the rule, and then hit save and close. Hopefully it'll be happy, and ready to rock and roll. Let's go click on publish. So anything that's in draft, it should grab and go. There's good news. All right, so let's go back to our instructions. So we've done all these steps, clicked OK. We didn't get the red X, that was good. We activated the rule, saved it, clicked on publish, and it seemed to be happy. So let's go create a new order for the computer, our friends at Computer Rental or Service Rental, and then we'll go to the shipping tab, put in the packing instructions. We'll submit it, and then we'll go look at the fulfillment view, make sure that the packing instructions field was assigned. We'll kind of peruse the process number, make sure things are going like they're supposed to. Look at the Gantt chart, and that'll be the end of that. So let's go create an order. Back in order management. We'll open that up. Click on create orders. Pop in our business unit, US1, customer, computer services. Come down, we'll pop in our part number. Tab out of there. Come over to the ad. Cut away from me. Should give us a line down here. Go to shipping. Whoops. Too far, too fast. No, that's right. Shipping. Sorry. packing instructions. Make sure we change our supply to 002, which is Atlanta. Click on Save. And then Submit. Now we've got our confirmation. We'll click OK. And it shows we're processing. 18. Copy that. Now let's switch to the fulfillment view. And we've got our orchestration process, orchestration number, like all good news. And if you want to cruise through your lines, returns. And our packing slip lines instructions were populated. Good news is we don't have any exceptions, so there's good news. If you want to pop open the analytics, you can see those. So availability, warehouse. And then let's click on the orchestration.